Yeah,
Coach,
good.
heading into Florida tomorrow, obviously Virginia this weekend, just the momentum you guys are carrying, how are you guys feeling, and how excited are you to get that game at the Flex?
Yeah, I think anytime we get the opportunity to play Florida, it's just really good for the state of Florida. We've got such great softball here, and having the SEC ACC game and the Sunshine State game and all that. But they're just they're having a really good season. They got Rothrock back, so they're better in the circle, even though they've been doing a great job in the circle. So good for us. This is just of course you want to beat them, but the chance to have this opportunity to grow, your freshmen to grow, postseason feel, all that good stuff. And then UVA, they started off hot. They've got all the tools, so we just have to have locked in minds for 4 games here at the Plex. Yep.
How much do you love having that postseason feel, but also trying to have your players balance the emotion? It's just another game.
Yeah, I think for a while it used to be the game, and now it is definitely it's not just another game. You know that it's going to be different around here, but it's the games we want to be in. These are the World Series teams that have experience, that that they're good 1 through 9 and off the bench. They got good arms, so you've really got to be locked into that. And it's only 1 game, so that becomes a dogfight at that point. Where 3-game series are a little bit of win the series and chess matches, and this is just all out, go for it, single game. And just really excited for our team and to see what we're all about.
Coach, I saw the message you shared on social media last night about all the support, but if you could kind of, as best as you can, just kind of talk these last 24 hours and the amount of support and people who have reached out to you.
Yeah, not surprising. This community is incredible, and that's why I chose 17 years ago to come here. And it's super crazy, the community service that we've put in, and now the community service is giving back. It's just when I think of service, it's just more of integrating Florida State with where we live, and I feel like we have that here. And so the amount of support of text messages and emails and just the words of wisdom from people that have gone through it. I think that's the one thing that I knew that cancer and breast cancer and all that is going on, but then you go and you sit in these rooms and you're just like, wow, this little bubble of softball that I get to be in all the time is amazing, and sometimes the outside world. And so I'm just so grateful for everything that's been poured out. I gave myself a couple weeks to get my feet underneath me to kind of know how to handle this. And I've always said family, and it is one big family, that's for sure.
Coach, you mentioned family, and that this team is a family too.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about the moment that you sat down with the team and kind of told them, and then what their reaction was, and how you guys have kind of grown from it, and the bond that's helped you get through it?
Yeah, I've told you guys before, this is a very special team. It's a close-knit team, and so I knew that this might be news that maybe they've heard first time, or it could be triggering news for amount of grandmas that have gone through it or moms that are going through it. And so it's not something you want to share, and time to time something from the outside comes in, and we handle it like a family, and they were incredible, and they've been very supportive. And my hope is these questions are not to them, and we move on, and it's Team 42, and I don't mind sharing the journey, but I really want to keep us focused on what we're doing and how great they've been. And this is just I'm just taking a little side street for a while, and then be back on the freeway here in a bit, and with their support. So if you're going to go through this, go through it at a time where you have a lot of distractions. So I have 4 hours a day, if not 5 hours a day of softball, and that's so great. And then I can deal with the rest of it and the side, and I think they appreciate that too. And fortunately, because of the good plan we have moving forward, I think they know there's a little chemo time, and then there's softball time, and we've been able to separate that. So so it's been awesome. A lot of hugs and a lot of I love yous. And I think sometimes when things on the outside hit like that, you realize that it's bigger than that. But we're still pretty focused on, especially with tomorrow, right? Florida Gators. So
You've been with your coaching staff a long time. You're very close with that bunch. How have they been, and just supporting you, helping you, and telling you we're here for you during this process?
Yeah. I'm again, it sounds redundant, like family, but it is family. And I think that right away when I was able to tell the coaching staff, you're super strong, you're going to handle this, and some tears here and there, but that's just the cancer word in general. There's just so much, research out there, and I've got good prognosis and all that. So big hugs, and here we are, and what's next, and we're going to do what we need to do for the kids. I think we need to have messages like that. It's we become parents to our kids, and then you go to softball mode, right? And I think that was the big thing, is when you break it to the team, you've got a lot of aunts, uncles, and people here supporting you, and our support staff's awesome. So
What's some of the advice, or one of the best advice you received from some people who gone through it?
Lots of advice. I know in talking to my doctor, she's like, you know, when this gets out there, you're going to get a lot of advice, and I have. And I think the one thing that I've been receiving a lot is how many people have gone through this. So it's just not something you share a lot. And I'm just in the position as a public figure that I get the opportunity to share this, and kind of, the support that is coming forward, but just it's still about softball and my job, and I'm going to contribute to it. But I'm, it's just a lot of people resonating that, they've gone through this a lot with children or parents or aunts and uncles, and just the things, they just want to share things that have helped them. And I just really appreciate that. So, and Brooke's been great for me. She was my first conversation. And, when you just have someone, and I can imagine later in life, I want to share too, with people my journey. And if it helps someone, it helps someone, So I think everything's been in good nature and love for, my opportunities ahead.
I was going to ask you about Coach Brooke. Was she first to reach out to you? What did she say? I mean, what have those conversations been like with her?
Well, I reached out to her because I was trying to really figure out how to navigate this, to then navigate the team. And that's the first thing, is like, you got to get yourself going, and then you need to break it to your staff, and then break it to your team, right? So it was just, a couple weeks of like, okay, like good conversations about what I need to do. How am I going to do it? Then let the staff in. This is what we're going to do. And then, of course, I don't know what's ahead of us, but this is our plan as we're moving forward. So Brooke's just been really good at, in the same position, right? Leading a team going into a season, like, how do you make sure that you can be here and be here at the same time? Because the health is the most important, but our lives have always been about the team, So I think it's just good to hear someone that's on that journey and been very successful at it, and has stayed grounded to what she's needed to do. So, yeah.
How are you doing?
Yeah, great. I'm great. Yeah, I'm 3 weeks in, and got another 8 weeks to go. And it's just, it's blind trust. You've never been down the road, and in my world, you get done with it and you debrief it, and then you go again, and so I'm hoping I'm not going again. So I'm trying to be as best as I can week by week, and it's been awesome. So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.